Man, what a night of football, and what a night to be a Philadelphia Eagles fan. I'm not even in the studio. I'm not in front of the lights. I'm literally just sitting on my couch right now because my legs are toast after standing and streaming for over 8 hours. But I couldn't wait. I had to jump back on here because after letting that one over the Rams marinate for a few hours, I realized something. This Eagles one wasn't just good, it was better than we thought. Way better. And I know emotions run high right after a game, but after rewinding the tape in my head, watching the reactions, checking in on how the Rams approached this one, the more I think about it, the more I'm convinced this win means something deeper for Philly. This was one of those games that define who you are, not just as a football team, but as a culture, a mindset, a city. The Rams were locked in for this one. You could feel it in the way they spoke all week. You could see it in how they promoted the game. This wasn't just another early season matchup for them. This was their mini Super Bowl. They wanted to make a statement against a team that's become a serious thorn in their side. And yet, despite all that build-up, despite being up big early, they got steamrolled by a team that simply refused to die. That's what makes this version of the Eagles so scary. It's not just talent. It's not just coaching. It's that mindset, that culture that Nick Sirianni has embedded in this locker room. That belief system that Jalen Hurts lives and breathes every single snap. They don't blink. They don't flinch. You think you got them? They'll hit back. You knock them down? They come back stronger. It's like a relentless boa constrictor. The longer the game goes, the tighter they squeeze until you've got nothing left. And look, I've been watching this team my whole life. Since I was a kid growing up in Philly, this has been part of my DNA. I've seen a lot of Eagles games over the years. The classics, the heartbreakers, the miracles. And this one, it's right up there. The crowd, the atmosphere, the energy at Lincoln Financial Field, it felt like something special was happening. And maybe, just maybe, this is one of those early season turning points. The kind of win that lights a fire and sets the tone for what's coming. Jalen Hurts said something after the game that really stuck with me. He said the thing he was most proud of was that the team never gave up. And he's right. It's easy to say that kind of stuff. It's a lot harder to actually live it on the field when you're down by 3 scores. The other team's got momentum, and everyone outside that locker room is writing your obituary in real time. But the Eagles didn't fold. They came back, dropped 26 unanswered points, and snatched the soul right out of the Rams. And speaking of Hurts, let's talk about him for a second. Because, man, what a second half for number one. After a slow start, he marched over to Kevin Patullo and Sirianni and basically said, "Let me cook." And they let him. They put the game in his hands, and he delivered with absolute surgical precision. He was decisive. He was aggressive. He was attacking downfield with confidence, hitting his reads, extending plays when he had to. And the offense came alive. This is what happens when you let Jalen Hurts be Jalen Hurts. And to all the clowns on social media who were throwing shade at him in the first half, loading up their hate tweets, waiting for any mistake to pile on, where you at now? In the second half alone, Hurts went 16 for 22, over 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, and a passer rating pushing 140. Against the number 1 defense in the NFL heading into the week. Let that sink in. I saw the comments, I saw the DMs, I saw the hot takes. People saying Hurts can't throw. People calling him a glorified fullback, a tush-push merchant, whatever that means. It was embarrassing, and it just proves what I've been saying for a while now. People don't understand greatness when it's right in front of them. They get uncomfortable with players who don't fit the mold. But Jalen Hurts? He's the truth. He's not just a dual-threat quarterback. He's a franchise leader, a game changer, and when the lights are the brightest, he steps up. This dude's best games have come in the biggest moments. You think it's a coincidence? Super Bowl against the Chiefs, he balled out. NFC Championship, lights out. And now, early in the season, facing adversity on the road and at home, he's reminding everybody exactly who he is. The MVP campaign last year wasn't a fluke. If he doesn't get hurt late in the season, he probably wins that award. He's picking up right where he left off, and then some. Now let's give some love to A.J. Brown. That man is a straight-up monster. He said before the game, "Unleash the dogs," and that's exactly what happened. When this Eagles offense starts playing to its full potential, it becomes borderline unstoppable. And a big reason for that is AJ. The one-handed catches, the physicality, the third down conversions, the way he just bodies defenders and refuses to go down. He's built different. He's like a hybrid of Terrell Owens and Julio Jones. Fast, powerful, smart, and dangerous at every level of the field. You put the ball in his hands, and good things happen. And can we talk about that deep ball from Hurts to AJ? That's the kind of connection that changes the entire feel of a game. One play, one spark, and suddenly the whole offense is feeding off that energy. And it's not just AJ either. Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, even Saquon getting some space to work with. When the passing game is cooking, it opens up everything. It forces defenses to back off, to play more honest, and that's when the run game starts to find lanes. The scariest part? This offensive line hasn't even hit its stride yet, and they're still putting up numbers. Landon Dickerson needs to play better, no doubt, and there have been some inconsistencies across the board. But if this unit tightens up and the play calling stays aggressive, this offense could be the most dangerous in the league. It's all there, the weapons, the quarterback, the scheme. It just needs to stay in attack mode. Now switching gears, let's shout out Jordan Davis, because that man is having a season. Coming into the league, the question was always, can he be more than a two-down player? Can he condition himself to stay on the field, impact every down, and live up to that top draft billing? And early in his career, you saw flashes, but he wasn't quite there. But now, he looks like a completely different player. He dropped weight, got in shape, bought into the grind, and now he's dominating. Straight up dominating. Collapsing pockets, blowing up run plays, and making game-altering special teams plays like that blocked field goal return. And let me say this, when your interior D-line features Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, you've got something that can anchor your defense for the next 5, maybe 10 years. That's not an exaggeration. That's real. These two young studs are wreaking havoc every snap. And if they stay healthy, opposing quarterbacks are going to be living nightmares every Sunday. That's the difference between the Eagles and a lot of teams. It's not just the starters. It's the depth, the wave after wave of talent. And more than anything, it's the culture. The foundation that's been built by Sirianni, by Hurts, by the vets in that locker room. It's a team that expects to win. A team that doesn't get rattled. A team that plays with purpose. That's why they're 19-1 in their last 20 regular season games. That's not a fluke. That's dominance. And that's why even when they go down early, no one on the sideline panics. They regroup, they adjust, and they attack. This is why people hate the Eagles right now. This is why the national discourse has become so toxic. It's not because the team is overrated. It's because they're winning a lot, and they're doing it their way. With swagger, with grit, with Philly toughness. And that rubs some people the wrong way. But if you're from this city, if you ride with this team, you get it. You live for this. And tonight, we saw another chapter in what's shaping up to be a pretty damn special season. And look, we can't ignore what the defense did to keep this game within reach. The Rams came out firing. They had energy, they had tempo, and for most of that first half, they were moving the ball. But the defense bent and did not break. That was key. They held strong in the red zone, forced field goals instead of giving up touchdowns. And that's what allowed the offense time to wake up, find its rhythm, and storm back. That's what complementary football looks like. The defense doing just enough to hang in there while the offense finds its groove. And when the offense finally turned it on, the game flipped like a switch. There was a moment in the third quarter when you could feel it, like the whole stadium knew what was coming. The momentum had fully shifted, the Rams looked stunned, and the Eagles looked like they had tapped into that second gear. That killer instinct. And the way they executed down the stretch was just textbook. The drives were sharp. The play calling was aggressive, but smart. They kept pushing, kept punching, and didn't let the Rams get off the mat. 26 unanswered points against a team that had every reason to believe they had it in the bag. That's how you send a message to the rest of the league. And man, when this team gets rolling like that, they're just fun to watch. The tempo, the confidence, the way they spread the ball around. It feels unstoppable. Jalen Hurts was seeing the field so clearly in that second half. Every throw had purpose. Every decision looked calm, in control. And it wasn't just about the big plays. It was about the precision, the conversions on third down, the throws into tight windows, the ball placement on deep routes. It was surgical. You could see the trust between Hurts and his receivers, too, especially with A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. They know when the ball's coming, and Hurts knows they're going to be where they need to be. That chemistry is everything. You can't fake that. It's built through reps, through hard work, through time, and it's paying off. And how about Dallas Goedert finally getting in on the action in a real way? He's been kind of quiet to start the year, but he's such a weapon when he's involved. When he gets the ball in space, he's tough to bring down. And he's not just a safety valve. He's a legit playmaker. When the Eagles' offense is at its best, it's because guys like Dallas are getting touches alongside the big names. And that's the thing. This offense doesn't have to rely on one or two players. They've got weapons all over the field. If the defense wants to take away the deep shots, they'll hit you underneath. If they're sitting in zone, Hurts will carve them up. If they try to get physical at the line, they'll go over the top. There are just so many ways they can beat you. That kind of versatility is rare in the NFL. And when it's operating with confidence, it becomes nearly impossible to defend. But all of this starts with mindset, with leadership. And that goes back to Hurts and Sirianni. Those two set the tone. They build a culture that doesn't flinch, doesn't panic, and doesn't stop swinging. And that mindset is infectious. You can see it in the way the players talk, the way they handle adversity, the way they celebrate together. There's a real sense of belief in that locker room. They expect to win, and that matters. It matters more than people think. Look at how this team responded to all the noise this week. The doubters, the haters, the people questioning Hurts' ability to throw, the people calling the team overrated. All of that stuff was out there, and it would have been easy to get distracted, to feel the pressure, to tighten up. But the Eagles used it as fuel. They stayed focused, stayed connected, and when it was time to make plays, they showed up. That's what separates the good teams from the great ones. When things aren't perfect, when the plan isn't going your way, can you still find a way to win? That's what they did, and they did it in style. You don't come back from a deficit like that without a deep belief in who you are, without preparation, without mental toughness. And this team has all of that. That's what makes them dangerous. It's not just the talent. It's the edge, the relentlessness. And it comes from every level of the organization, from the front office to the coaching staff to the veterans in that locker room to the young guys stepping up. Jordan Davis, man. I got to go back to him for a second. That field goal block return might have been the play of the season so far. Not just because it flipped the momentum, but because it showed the kind of athlete he is. This is a dude his size moving like that. Nearly 17 miles per hour. That's insane. That's freakish. You can't coach that. And it's a testament to the work he's put in. The guy transformed his body, took the criticism, responded to it, and now he's dominating. And with Jalen Carter right next to him, that interior D-line is terrifying. Offensive lines are going to be having nightmares about those too. But credit to the whole defense for how they responded. They could have folded early. They could have packed it in after giving up some chunk plays. But they held firm. They created pressure. They forced mistakes. They didn't let Stafford get comfortable. And they did it while missing a couple of key guys. That's what you want to see. Depth stepping up. Next man up mentality. And as the season goes on, this group is only going to get stronger. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Rumors are swirling through the Major League Baseball world as whispers suggest that Julio Rodriguez, the electrifying young star outfielder, may be on the verge of an unprecedented move to the New York Yankees. Sources close to the matter describe it as a potential explosion that could shake the American League to its very core. Rodriguez, who has dazzled fans with his combination of speed, power, and defensive prowess, has long been considered the face of the Seattle Mariners. But according to the buzz in locker rooms and on social media, the Yankees might be mounting a serious push to lure him to the Bronx. Insiders hint that talks have been very preliminary but intense, with New York reportedly ready to offer a blockbuster package to make the deal happen. The mere suggestion of Rodriguez in pinstripes has sent ripples through the league. Analysts speculate about the seismic impact on both the Yankees and their rivals, particularly in a tightly contested American League East. Fans have flooded forums with a mix of excitement, disbelief, and envy, imagining a lineup that already brims with star power now boosted by one of the most dynamic players in baseball today. Mariners faithful, meanwhile, are bracing for what could be a devastating blow to their young core, while rival teams are reportedly strategizing to counter the Yankees' potential firepower. Adding fuel to the fire, tensions elsewhere in the sports world have only heightened the drama. Recently, the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs made headlines after a series of pointed comments disparaging the Philadelphia Eagles. While intended as motivational banter, his words sparked outrage among fans, creating a social media storm that has refused to die down. The combination of Rodriguez's possible move and the Chiefs-Eagles feud has given sports media a frenzy of storylines to dissect, fueling speculation at every turn. Though nothing is officially confirmed, insiders suggest the atmosphere in New York is electric. Every rumor, every whisper of negotiation seems to be magnified in the city that thrives on high-stakes drama. Whether Julio Rodriguez will truly don a Yankees uniform or if the chatter will fade remains uncertain. But for now, baseball fans are gripped by the tantalizing possibility of a seismic shakeup in the American League. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.